906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by Orion Hunting Products. It's a windy morning. We're heading out to see if we can connect with some Little Bay De Noc walleyes.
Whoop, look at that fish.
Then summertime bass with Hall of Fame fishing guide Mike Mladenik. And we'll get some pointers on getting traps ready for the upcoming season, as well as how to safely release a wolf and a bear. 9 million acres of forest, 1,700 miles of continuous shoreline, 4,300 lakes, 12,000 miles of streams, more than 300 waterfalls, 15 counties, 2 time zones, and 1 area code. Welcome to the Upper Peninsula. Welcome to 906 Outdoors. .906 Outdoors is brought to you by Cooking Wild Seasonings. Make it fresh, make it yours. It was a pretty nice day for walleye fishing, calm and sunny, till we left the mouth of the river. Then, windy and cold. At least colder than it's been.
So we're out here on Little Bay De Noc today, fishing with our captain, Jason Lancor. And we're gonna go out, we're gonna pull cranks today looking for some Little Bay De Noc walleyes. So right now we're setting up on some structure. The way the wind's blowing right now, it should set up for a really good bite on some structure. And we're gonna put out a crankbait program.
Wind means waves, and waves certainly don't hurt the opportunity to find active walleyes. But a quick drop in water temperature can certainly put the kibosh to a day of fishing, and indeed it did. But that doesn't mean you can't still catch fish.
Fish on? I think we're hooked up. We're hooked up. Here, grab this. Oh, that didn't take long, did it? Man, we don't have all of our lines out yet. We have a fish on. This is perfect. This is the time of year where a lot of the fish are putting on their feed bag. They're trying to store some fat for the winter coming up, so fishing can't get any better than it is right now on Little Bay De Noc. We have a heck of a bass population too, so it's not uncommon to hook up on some really nice smallmouth down here. Okay, Jason, I'm all set here. I think it's a walleye, folks. All right. Where are you going with that here? See him on top, okay. It's a nice walleye. You know, so here's a Little Bay De Noc walleye. They have that gold color to it. You see its stomach, he's full of bait fish right now. He's been eating. So we're out here, we're targeting structure today. Structure and wind. And what the wind's doing is pushing bait fish up on the structure, and it's pushing these fish up on the structure. And that's what we're after today. We've already started off very well today. Anything under 23 inches we like to put in the freezer. Anything over 23 we like to put back in the water for conservation, for making more walleyes. All right.
We're using offshore planer boards to keep our lures away from the boat. The water is extremely clear today. We have a real strong west wind blowing pretty close to 20 miles an hour. It's got the bait fish really pulled up into the shallows here. We're pulling these cranks through about 16 to 18 feet of water, and I would say roughly about 30 to 40 yards away, the water gets deeper, and it's got a pretty good break there. And these fish right now are up on this shallow shelf chasing these alewife.
Jason is hooked up on a fish, setting up the lines. All right, I got it. That didn't take long. We found some warmer water, and we found some fish. That's how it usually works out. We're looking for today is we're fishing structure. A lot of the walleyes, you know, in Little Bay De Noc are wind oriented. So if you can fish the wind and structure, you can increase your chances of being successful out here. And it's a northern play. The best winds where we're at now is typically a good south wind. The walleyes are opportunistic. When the water gets stirred up, they go in a little feeding frenzy. They use that cover to target their food. So usually the windier it is on Little Bay De Noc, the better the bite is. So we're not catching walleye, but we're catching northern pike. Yes. The walleyes are going to come up here shortly. We're hooked up again here. Little Bay De Noc. This one feels like a pretty good walleye.
906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by Blades Bait and Tackle, your year-round connection to fishing Bay De Noc.
Okay, we are hooked up again on Little Bay De Noc. This one has some weight to it. I'm going to try to take my time on this one because the last one, the crankbait almost went through the camera lens. So I'll slow it down a little bit. So, you know, over the years I've been fishing these waters. We've seen an up and down cycle with the walleye population. In the last 10 years, it was on a downward slide as far as the population goes, with really aggressive efforts by the Bay De Noc Great Lakes Sports Fishing Club, with help with the Michigan DNR. You know, my forearm's starting to get a little bit sore here. More recently, we're actually getting some assistance from the Sioux tribe on the Sault Ste. Marie, and they actually have been stocking Little Bay De Noc with some fingerling walleyes, along with our plants. So with the combination of these efforts, in the last 3 years, I've seen an increase in walleye populations in our area. The fishing has been absolutely spectacular. It's been very good. Look at that fish. The numbers of 15 to 22 inch fish in the last 2 years have really gone up. Multi-species action right here. Pike kind of get a bad rap, but if you want some good table fare, it's some of the best eating fish in the Great Lakes, if you ask me. Because of the efforts from all these agencies, our fishery's coming back. You know, at one time, Little Bay De Noc was on the map as the walleye capital of the world. This was a destination for people that wanted to catch walleyes. And it's not the case anymore. We're after walleye, but like we said before, this is a multi-species fishery, and it doesn't get old catching pike or bass. The way it's coming back, I think we're gonna bring it back again. And you know who benefits from that is our community. You know, our restaurants, our businesses, the gas stations, the resorts and cabins really benefit from a really strong fishery. And that's our goal, is to bring this fishery back to where it was. And it's coming back, no doubt about it. You know, so today's cold front has slowed down these fish a little bit today. So that the crankbait bite, it's not as good as we want it to be. So we're going to switch up to spinners right now. We're going to pull crawler harnesses, a little bit slower, a little slower presentation, and we're going to find some weeds and some warmer water. Sometimes in a cold front situation, switching over to spinners or crawler harnesses is the way to do it. All right, we're hooked up again right now. Watch for a double here. Check this one over here, Jason. Oh, it popped up. This feels like a pretty good fish. We switched from cranks to spinners. We slowed our presentation down a little bit. Oh, we might have a double on. We got a double on.
Okay, sweet man.
We got a double. Nice fish. There's some more Little Bay gold right there. You gotta like that. I'm gonna have a little issue here. I got my line crossed. I'm gonna have to get up on this side. And we got a triple on everybody. I gotta buy some time here. Let go of the spinner. Okay, ready? There we go. Nice fish, nice fish. Grab the other rod now, Jason. You got one on that one too, I think. Triple header, everybody. Gotta love it. You gotta love it. Okay, he's free, that's free. Well, here's a Little Bay De Noc walleye. We call them walleye gold. got a glimpse of it. Oh, it's a nice fish. All right, here we go, buddy. Nice one. Nice fish. Woo-hoo! Look at that fish. So, you know, we talked about the Bay De Noc fishery, and this is kind of proof that the fishery's coming back, and it's due to efforts, planting efforts by the Bay De Noc Sport Fishing Club, the Michigan DNR, and also the Sioux tribes helping out with some walleye plants. So this is the result. It's happening, and it's getting better every year. So we're going to keep up the hard work and hopefully turn this fishery back around again like it used to be. So this is it right here. There's the proof. Nice fish, Jason.
Today's show is brought to you in part by Rapid River Knife Works, home of Michigan's largest custom knife factory showroom. Menominee River is one of my favorite places in the UP, and over the years, I've spent a lot of time filming there with my friend, fishing guide Mike Mladenik. I had the chance to get back on the water with Mike for a warm summertime morning of smallmouth fishing.
Today we're on the Menominee River, of course, my favorite place to fish. We're going to look for some summertime smallmouth. We might be fishing with soft plastics, we might be fishing with topwater baits, maybe some spinner baits. That's the thing in the summer, you got to be prepared because you never know what you're going to catch them on. Hardest part is making a decision on what to use. One deadly tactic on the Menominee River here in the summertime is fishing stick bait. This is a 4.5-inch bait. I'm going to work it wacky style. I got an O-ring, but here's the trick. Before I actually hook it up, I want a little more weight. This isn't heavy enough because it's kind of moving in the current. What I'm going to do is I'm taking a tungsten nail weight and placing it just in the center. And now I have more weight to my wacky worm. It's going to allow me to get deeper into the water column. Because one thing to remember, when you're using a wacky worm, what you're trying to do is imitate the crawfish that the smallmouth are feeding on. And crawfish, you don't find them halfway up or on the surface, you find them on the bottom, so you got to get your bait down to the bottom. So I hooked it through the, under the O-ring. I don't go through the worm. And why it's called wacky, as you could see, how it kind of just flutters a little bit. What I'm doing is I'm lifting it and dropping it, so I'm getting a little movement. And believe it or not, it gets the smallmouth attention, and especially a bait like this. It's kind of green pumpkin. I got some gold flakes on it, and it does resemble a crawfish moving in the water. Right in the shade where we're supposed to be. There we go. Little soft plastic jerk bait. Go get your mama. Fishing into some slop, a little heavy weed cover, so I'm gonna just put just a basic weedless frog. Nothing fancy. But the important thing on the Menominee River, use these frogs, I like them with the paddle tail. These got pow, 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 pow action. That drives these smallmouth and largemouth, for that matter, too, crazy. What I'm doing is I'm throwing this jerkbait just on the edge of the grass, and I'm letting it drop a little bit. Smallmouth don't like to go real heavy in that real heavy grass like the largemouth do. They hang on that edge. So I twitch it across, twitch, and when I get to that end, I just let it drop, and pow, that's when this thing hammered it right there.
.906 Outdoors is brought to you in part by Christ, your Northwoods neighborhood store. As fall rolls around, it's time to dig out the traps and get things ready for the upcoming trapping season. I met with trapper Dave Wender for some pointers.
Before you go trapping, you're going to want to get your traps scent free. If they smell any human scent on them, you're going to have dug up traps, refusals. You get yourself some lye. About a quarter bottle of this in with, say, a dozen traps. Add this with water, and you get them to a simmer for about an hour. And you got to get the scum off the top, because the old wax on the trap, everything's going to go right to the top. You need to take the traps out, but now if you just pull them out right through all that scum, because you're not going to get it all off, you're going to contaminate your traps again. So you take a garden hose and you put it in there and let all that water come out. So now you got nice clean water, and then you can take them out. And once you get the traps, you hang them up, and it sounds weird, but you have to let these traps rust. And then you can dye them. The rust is what the dye will stick to. I use tag elder bark. You shave all the bark off, and I add a little bit of spruce limbs in there, throw the traps in there, and once again, you get it to a simmer, and you let it go, and once it simmers for about an hour and a half, then you leave it sit for a couple days, and these traps will come out so black. This is a used trap, so, but it'll look pretty black, and then they're totally scent free. And once you get them dyed, then you got to wax them. You get your wax not boiling but hot, so it's a liquid, and you dip the trap in the wax, and you got to leave the trap in there until the trap reaches the same temperature as the wax. And when you can lift it out and it's like dripping off of it, then you know you're good to go. You hang it up, and that trap is going to be scent free, and that wax will make it fire nice. All these traps do is hold the animal. Now this is a MB 550, the nice jaw on it. It's a cast jaw, a lot of nice holding power, and there. This trap is not hurting me one bit. All it's doing is holding me. Now if you get an animal in your trap that you want to release, now a bobcat you can very easily release with a catch pole. I found a lot simpler way and a lot safer. This sheet of plywood. The upside down V in it, you walk up to the animal, you put that over its leg, the animal's on one side, I'm on the other, you reach down, you undo the trap, the animal takes off. You got this barrier between you, and you want this handle here. You don't want to be putting your hand up here, you're going to get bit. Now if you do get a wolf in a trap, I got 3 of them this year. If you want to release them with the catch pole, I've done it. I won't suggest it, it's too dangerous. They have their head so close to yours when you're reaching down, getting that trap off their foot. When you walk up to them, you don't want to just walk up to them. I put my traps on drags, so they got a free range where they can run. If you walk right up to them, they might come from one side to the other, and you're going to be wrapped in your chain. So you got to walk up to the outside of your catch circle. When you go up to them, put the plywood over their foot, over the trap, and they're more afraid of you. Got it. And when I released a bear, I put it over it, but I caught part of the trap. And I reached down to get the trap off, and when I noticed that, I'm lifting the plywood up so I could get a better hook on its foot, and the trap was caught to the plywood. So I ended up having to step on the chain to get the trap loose. And then once I did that, I was able to get the trap off the bear, and it took off.
Feel free to join us on Facebook or visit us at 906outdoors.com. Thanks for watching, and we invite you to join us next week for another adventure right here on 906 Outdoors.